All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Jason, TCP Super System. I am the creator and founder, and I'm going to walk through a video just like I promised earlier today. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin, HBAR, probably XRP, and then some of our stock choices of late, including Solana Strategies, Metaplanet. And I will tell you again that my system does a remarkable job of identifying opportunity zones in cryptos and equities. Uh, None of it's financial advice, but I do give you the alerts, the interpretations, our trades, our trade logic for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult an advisor if you want to make a trade. This is not financial advice. Now, just before we get started, you can see we've had a pretty busy day. Down earlier today. Now it looks like we're actually up on mainly across the board. And you can see all the alerts I got through the system today. I think there's basically 10. Now you can't see the whole language here, but I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. And you can just see, I'm not going to go through each of these because that's for another day, but you can see Irene, that's a stock, basically a Bitcoin proxy, Bitcoin mining. Solana alert today, Cardano alert today, Chainlink alert today, Algo alert today, XRP alert today, API 3 alert today. So I mean, lots of opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why we bring you this system for free, because it has done me very well. And I do this because I want to, not because I have to. I'm not trying to make a ton of money doing this other than my own individual trades, but just want you to learn something. So again, we're going to start tonight out on Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you we can scale this. This may be small on the screen, and I'll try to use numbers so you know where we are. But you got the daily view on the left. Sorry, daily view on the left. The weekly view on the right. Excuse me one second. The weekly view on the right, and we can compare the TCP Super System and our alerts from each view. And again, if you go back and look at our video the other day, we told you, based on some liquidation zones, that we felt like Bitcoin could go somewhere between this zone here, 125 and 130. And I want to zoom in here because this was remarkable. I want you to look at this. And you can go back and see we had the zones pegged before the price action, so it's not like I'm putting these bars on here afterward. You can go back and check me, but look at that. Absolutely remarkable there. I mean, I don't know. Show me someone else that's out here making that kind of prediction before the price action, and then it'd be right. There's not many people, and that's why this thing took me 2 to 3 years, and it does me very well, and I'm here to share it with you. But I do want to show you, on the downside, I do also think we could see at some point, where there's geopolitical events or whatever it may be, the liquidation zone on the downside is somewhere between basically 105-ish, somewhere in that range, 105, 108. So I would not be shocked to see Bitcoin hit 105 to 108 before it hits 200. And right now we're at 122. I mean, a lot of people calling for 250,000, 300,000 this bull cycle, but we'll see. Long term, again, if you never sold your Bitcoin, fabulous, awesome. But I personally try to continue building my bag. We do have a portion that we never would sell, but we have a portion we like to play with to see if we can build it. And that's how you build generational wealth. And that's what my goal is. Now, my goals and aspirations and trades may not be suitable for you or be the same as you, so you got to make your own decisions and not just rely on this. I'm just a guy on the internet. Take it with a grain of salt. But you can see here on the weekly on Bitcoin, we nailed the zone. We'll see where we go next. You can see here, now, although we don't really have any level 1, 2, or 3 diamonds right here, you can see down here on the bottom on the weekly, we are in the red on the medium-term hot sensor and the long-term hot sensor. Now, does that mean we're over? No, it does not. Because in the short term, you can see we're only in the gray zone here. And again, white, gray, blue, yellow, orange, red being the top. Now, if we got to a red zone on all three, hang on one second, guys. Yeah, sorry guys, my daughter, she's getting curious. So you gotta love them. Uh, sorry about that. That's cute. Um, so again, you can see again if we had all three red hot sensors in the long term here, yeah, that would be a concern with diamonds. Then I think that's going to be where we see a local top, and we will certainly bring that to you when we see it. Now I'm going to switch views here for just a minute, and we're going to show you. Did it switch? Let me switch here. Oh, I'm sorry. This one. It is not switching normally. Let's see. Oh, it's trying. We may be having some connectivity issues. Let's see. well, well, we can keep going unless it changes. It should switch into a singular view, so it's not as so you don't see both the weekly and the daily. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. And we'll come back to Bitcoin. Next, I do want to do HBAR because that is a request that I received, and I bet you we. Oh, no, here it comes. Okay, so now we're back on the singular view. And of course, now I want to switch back to the multi-view. So here we go. So here we are on HBAR. Oh, sorry, guys. My daughter threw me off there. Where's our HBAR at here? So here's HBAR. Now I want you to see this here. This is the weekly view again. And you can see back here in March of this year. So the last 2 weeks of March, we had level 3 dark green diamonds hitting off of support levels at that being the 50-day moving average. That is, I mean, that's remarkable when you're looking at a weekly chart. That's a long-term view, right? And anytime you see that, and you can also pull it up over here to see where we were. So again, you can see on both charts where that white line is, right? Right there, around 16 cents. And now you could have rode that all the way up to these level 3s. And granted, we had 3, but I want to show you something on the weekly chart that's just awesome. If you go back and look at a lot of these tokens when we're talking through this, you'll notice on the weekly chart, this orange line that you see in our standard deviation methodologies, when it's at the bottom, typically a great time to scale in, if at least for us, that's been a great time to scale in. And when it gets back up to the upper extremes, look where that is. It's right on that third diamond. I mean, that's just remarkable. And another way you can trade this is generally we have told you, when you get buy signals or scale in opportunities down here and you are below the cloud, it usually pumps above the cloud, and then you'll see some type of retracement back to the cloud or the bottom level of that cloud. Exactly what we got right here. Now we're trading at a 50-day moving average on the weekly chart on HBAR, which is generally a high level of support, a zone of high level with a high level of support. So here, I would also point you to this. The orange line is still up there. It is trending downward, and our white fast line in the standard deviation methodology is actually down below. Let me zoom in there so you can see if we can penetrate that green zone here, I would be very happy with HBAR in the next few weeks off of this support level here. So watch that. Now, granted, same thing as Bitcoin. If we see that weekly chart, the short-term hot sensor on the weekly chart get into the red along with the medium term, and we start seeing diamonds, be careful there. But we got a long way to go for that. So HBAR is looking pretty good. Caveat or transparency here, that is our second largest position, actually first largest position in terms of token count. I think it's our third largest position in terms of dollars. So just to be transparent there, that is one along with XRP we never sell. We only add to our bags when the opportunity zones present themselves, and this could very well be one. Now, typically, again, we like to be scaling in when we see the dark green diamonds, at least level 2s or so that's a level 2. This lightest one is level 1, darkest level 3. So level 2s and level 3s, typically where you want to scale in for us. But when you know you're in a bull run in an uptrend, you got to play these support levels, right? Especially when you've come down off of a top. So that's how we would be looking at HBAR. We would just love to see this white line penetrate that green zone there, and I think we could be off to the races. And since I'm doing this for a friend, I do want to pull up this on a simple view. So it's a little more, this is the daily view versus the weekly. So, and see, this is interesting. Something to note here is, this is a confirmed downtrend. So, it pumped down, it got close to support, trended back to the cloud. Usually on a daily view, this would not be an area where I would scale in because it's not a confirmed uptrend yet. We're below the cloud actually. So this could very well, this would tell me this is showing weakness. And again, the standard deviation on the daily, we want this white line again to penetrate up through that red into these extremes. If we get that, and that can happen fast on the daily, we're talking about one day, it could be up there. So this is not like the weekly view, much slower on the weekly view. So again, and you're going to say, well, that contradicts itself, right? But it doesn't. The weekly chart is very slow. We know we're at a level of support, right? So in the next day or two, if you start seeing this thing creep up and get beyond this red zone into these extremes, that would tell me that what's playing out is that bump off that support level. If this thing turns back down, then, it makes sense that we could penetrate back down here, possibly back, the 200-day moving average, we're only talking about a 10% move here back to 20 cents. So, I mean, we at that point, if we penetrate lower, then I think we would be looking at, we would need to see some diamonds here or a confirmed uptrend reversal. So that's how we would be playing HBAR. So be honest, right this second, I would be sitting on it. Again, my actions may be different than what you would do. So you have to make your own decisions, but I would wait a moment here to see which way this daily view goes and see if it supports that weekly bounce or, what happens next. I do want to look at one thing since we're doing HBAR. And actually, I don't know. Give me 1 second. I don't know that it does not. Okay, we do not have leverage on HBAR, so we can't see those levels. So again, I think I gave you a pretty good analysis here. On the hot sensors, you can see 2 of the 3 are below the midline, being the short term and the medium term. It's only white, so really, I mean, this thing could easily cross over and head up or continue downward into where we would see some diamonds on the downside, which would be fantastic. Because I'll be honest, anything below 20 cents on HBAR, for us, yes, we'll be yelling at that all day long. So just knowing the Web3 applications and everything that's coming there, all the use cases, I think this is, for us, a long-term play where our goal would be probably 500,000 to 1 million HBAR. We are not quite there yet. We are approaching some good levels, but that is our goal. And we will let you know when we get there. So that's HBAR, Bitcoin. And that's since it kind of messed up a minute ago. We'll go back to Bitcoin on the daily because we didn't get to see that. Again, plays out exactly like we think. Had the pump above the cloud, hit our leverage levels, right back to the top of the cloud. And given that all 3 of these hot sensors are well above the midline, we're only in the white or gray on all 3. I mean, honestly, this is remarkable. This thing could really fly, and we could bust up through that leverage zone. And if we bust up to the 125, then, we're probably going north of, a lot of people are calling for 150. But at some point, I do believe we are going to revisit the 105 to 106, 108 mark. So we'll see what happens first. But right now, and you can see right now, this white line on our standard deviation, even though the hot sensors are pretty positive or where we want them to be, we've actually come back down from those extremes, penetrating that red zone. If it falls below that red zone, get ready for a Bitcoin retracement, ladies and gentlemen. But we got to see what we do here at the top of the cloud at 125.61 roughly. We need to hold 120. If it doesn't hold 120, I think we're going lower. Excuse me. And I'm not saying I'm right 100% of the time, but I can tell you I'm right more often than I'm wrong. But still not financial advice. But so we got Bitcoin, we've got HBAR. Let's go to XRP for the XRP Army and family. If you're out there, give me a thumbs up. We love you. I think it's going to be a remarkable opportunity for the future to create generational wealth. I am certainly positioned with that logic in mind. I never sell the XRP ever, even if the system tells us to. We do add to it, just like we do with HBAR when these opportunity zones present themselves. So you do what you do, and we will continue to bring you our logic and what we're thinking um, to help, educationally. Um, so let's look at XRP coming in at 287. I know people probably hate me out there in XRP land, but I told you if we couldn't maintain the 298 level, we would likely see some volatility to the downside. And we know XRP ETFs are coming. Yes, in the future when all those are approved, hell yes, let's roll, right? Let's all get rich, right? I don't have a problem with that mindset, but I'm just trying to maximize my opportunities to build bigger bags. So I welcome volatility to the downside. It's just opportunity for me. Again, it can skyrocket to 1,000 tomorrow. Fantastic, right? Maybe no one ever sees me ever again. but on these downturns, it's a great opportunity for us to keep building our bags. And you can see right now what we've actually got on the daily view. All three of these all three of the standard deviation lines that we're actually penetrating down below the green opportunity zone, heading toward those lower extremes. That's downward pressure. Now because of the price action we saw earlier in the last couple of weeks or last week and a half, it actually got a confirmed uptrend, but a quick reversal. So that's the sign, ladies and gentlemen. And you have a crossover to the downside here in the short term, crossover to the downside in the medium term, and we'll see where this long-term sensor goes and how quick this retracement is. I still would not be shocked to see a bounce off this 200-day moving average around 260 to 270. And again, that's another leveraged liquidation zone. So watch it there. Today's only October 7th, so you can come back to this later and see if I was right or wrong and whatever. But so we'll see where this goes. Again, for us to see upward price movement, I think we need to hold 298, which would require this white line to be back up here in these extremes. So if we can hit and hold 298, sky's the limit. But until then, I think we see liquidations and volatility in XRP. So we're going to switch a little bit. Actually, we'll do one or two more cryptos because obviously we want to keep you up to date on our trades. I think NEAR was one of our recent trades. Now we have seen some volatility there the last day or two, but again, you can see where we're in at 282, so we're still up about 16 cents on that. So not even 10%, but you can see that green line. That's our entry spot. And again, this one doesn't look too bad. All hot sensors are positive and not in any kind of overextended zone. We're right at the top of this cloud, so we would like this to hold here at 294. And we would like the standard deviation white line to get back in those extremes and remain above that red zone, and we're probably good to go on NEAR. So, and we'll go in here and look at NEAR on the double view here. Oh, this is beautiful. So look at this. I'm sorry, that's Adara. I was about to say that'd be very nice too. Well, it's pretty good too. I'm telling you guys and ladies, it works. So check this out. Let me zoom out of here so you can see this. That was an old trade there. Let's see. We'll go here. Is that where that is? Yep. So right here on August 5th, 2024. That was basically that local bottom. We got a level 3 diamond on both charts, daily and weekly. That's fantastic. And what you saw after that was a rise from basically 320-ish basically, all the way up to 819. That's all 2.5x in, what is that? Let's measure it. That is basically right there to right. We'll go to the top of the bar. So 119 days, 147%, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know about you, it's pretty good in my book. And that's how we leverage the level 2 and level 3 diamonds. And again, you can now see the downturn. You can see we got all kinds of level 3s throughout here. And that's why we always say you got to look at the other indicators when you start getting these diamonds. For example, the first one, you can see we were just hitting the lower extremes, and you don't buy at the lower extremes. You have to wait. So if you watch this, and look here, the short term, medium term, and well, there wasn't even a long term on the weekly, but the weekly and the short, medium term, they're just crossing over. You're early in that downtrend. So that's how you can avoid, if you want to say avoid scaling in too early, that's how you can do that with this system. And that's why I bring this to you, because you usually get a long tail thing here in these zones. But look at where you got your red. I mean, this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Right there, literally the bottom. Maybe well, that was the end of the red zone. So literally the bottom at 201. And now, you know what comes after green is red, and that's going to be up here somewhere. And you've got a confirmed uptrend signal where we're trending above the cloud, and we don't have any real spike, so we don't expect any real retracement here because we're already at the top of the cloud. So this is looking, for near, this looks awesome. And again, what do we tell you about the orange line, right? When it's down here in these extremes on the orange on the weekly, great time to buy. Look at where it is on the chart. It's at the bottom. When it gets to the top, we've penetrated the green zone. Fantastic. When we get up here in these extremes, I bet you we see some diamonds. I bet you it'll be time to exit for us. We'll have to evaluate and we'll bring it to you because we are in a trade there with pretty significant money. I want you to show me someone else that's doing this that's as accurate as I have been. And if that plays out, I just want you to remember, near at 298. Actually, near at 282 because that's when we told you we got in. And again, so we showed you that. So I'm going to go back to the daily. And we're going to look at one other crypto here, and that will be, actually, let's look at World Liberty real quick. Okay, yeah, World Liberty, garbage. I will tell you this, World Liberty, we are looking to get in at roughly 17.5 cents to 16 cents. If it gets in that range, we're probably in. But that's just for me, just FYI. Let's go to APTOS. That was one of our recent trades we showed you. I think it was a $5,000 trade, so not a big one. Again, we're in at 452. Here on APTOS, we brought that to you the day we made it. We showed you the screen print. So, I mean, we're truly transparent here. And you can see this does exactly what it normally does. You get the pump from down below the red, pump above the green cloud. This actually kind of is going sideways instead of straight back to the top of the cloud. So this will probably keep hovering sideways, and it's going to bump into this cloud right up here around 5. I don't know. I mean, I could say 520 to 525, somewhere up here. And we're going to need to watch these signals because, I mean, it could come either way. We are getting some level 1 red diamonds, so typically that's probably why you're seeing this sideways to down chop. But the hot sensors are not overextended in any way. They're gray. All three are gray above the midline, so that's great. You know, white, gray, blue, yellow, orange, red. So I think this could probably chop sideways and even go higher. So APTOS is looking fantastic. Even though it's a small trade at $5,000, I think this could be one that we easily double up on in the short term. And then we'll probably look at the signals and make a move. So Bitcoin, XRP, HBAR, APTOS, NEAR. Let's switch to some stocks real quick, and then we'll wrap this one up tonight. I know it's going to be kind of a long video. But again, if you get any value out of good TA that's not MACD or RSI garbage that most people do because they don't know what they're really talking about, and it's just a standard generic technical indicator, please like, share, subscribe, and go back and look at the videos and just look at how accurate we've been. And if you get value out of that and you think it's worthy, help us out, help that channel out. Like I said, I'm doing this because I want to, but it does take a lot of time, and I just hope it brings some level of value to our community. So we love y'all. We just want you to understand the game, and a lot of people will be telling you one thing, and more times than not, we're probably telling you the opposite, and more times than not, we're right. So just take a look. So let's go over here. We said the other day one of our plays, or one of our current stock portfolio trades, is Soul Strategies, or STKE. We are actually down on that trade. We've got in probably a little early, which is okay. We got in at 480. It's 426, so we're just waiting for that one to pump. So no big deal. Again, that was the $500. Our goal is $500 to 100,000. We're going to take you along that journey every single trade, however long it takes. We're either going to lose the 500 or make 100,000. Nothing in between. So right now we're just letting that play out. So nothing else to really say there. And then Metaplanet, for y'all that haven't been paying attention, this is one of our stock trades of the next decade. Again, not financial advice. One of the major Bitcoin treasury companies, top 6, I believe it is, behind, of course, Strategy and some others. But you can see on this downturn we've been in recently, they've diluted their stock so they can raise the capital they need to be buying Bitcoin. They're going to buy billions of dollars. It's fine. But again, we're approaching a trend reversal. I would expect to see some signals pretty soon for potential trend reversal, then a possible confirmed trend reversal. You'll start seeing a green cloud when that happens. I don't know that we're quite there yet. Again, our goal is we're trying to get some capital up to probably scale in over time, up to probably $5 or $6. From there, just let it roll. And like I said, I think once we start seeing that green cloud formation, it's going to be getting real interesting. But you can see on the medium term on the daily, we're in the orange, so it still could come down red. I would love to see another diamond, but I just don't think we're going to get it. But as soon as we get a crossover on really any of these hot sensors down here, we're probably going to start piling in. I see some news today. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see. David Schwartz announces exit. He's going to the board, ladies and gentlemen. He's not exiting the company. He's going to sit on the board. So stuff like that, the headlines, they sound negative, but they're not. So that's Metaplanet. That's Soul Strategies. I want to show you CleanSpark, ladies and gentlemen. We told you we had gotten in at 1026. We are now out of CleanSpark. Now I want to show you this absolute fabulous run from 1026. We had the confirmed uptrend, the green cloud. We had a slight retracement here, back to the top of the cloud like we usually tell you it does, and continues higher. This one may very well run higher. We are getting level ones again. We are red in the medium and the long term, so it's getting hot. But short term is not there yet. So, I wouldn't be surprised. And we told you, if you go back and look at the first video where CleanSpark was mentioned in the title, I think we said this could easily go into the 20s and possibly 30s. And here we come. And, even though there's price associations with our commentary, it's not financial advice. We're not advisors. We're not licensed. So take it with a grain of salt. It's just opinion. But knowing, as Bitcoin continues to run, these Bitcoin miners, they're Bitcoin proxies, so they should do well. Now, could you get it on a retracement? Sure. You can see up here on CleanSpark, we're getting dark blues. That's getting pretty extreme. I would just tell you that. Again, if this, the way we would typically trade it, or as long as we would want to trade it, would be when that orange line gets back into these extremes, or starts to penetrate back below the extremes. I think you'll see some downward volatility there when you start seeing that. But we're out of there, so you may not see CleanSpark from us for a while unless we get back in it on a retracement. So just wanted to show you that because that was a remarkable trade pretty fast. When you're talking about this 1026 level, that is roughly basically this. I think it was that. Actually, I think we got in on that red candle, if I recall. Yep, we sure did. And if you look at where that candle is now, that is 22 days, 76%. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else proof you need, but there it is. Let's see if I can give you anything else tonight. And again, if you have any cryptos or stocks you want us to put through this system and comment on and just look at the signals, interpret them for you, feel free to put those in the comments. We have no problem doing that. If I see it, I'll try to get to it because we do appreciate the community, the engagement, whether it's positive or negative comments. I know a lot of people, will come at us and say certain things. We have no problem in that. We appreciate it. We'll still engage you. So just to put that out there. Then with that said, I believe that will be it. I may want to look at one more thing. Let's look at XLM because that's a lot of people's favorite as well. Should do pretty well with the retail payments, merchant services. XLM should be down here at the bottom. Yeah, see, not much going on XLM. It's kind of in no man's land. It's in the cloud. Again, we don't really like to trade there, and you're showing weakness on the standard deviation. So you had that nice pump back here in July, and you can see the level 3 diamonds again nailed it at the top with a dark blue. So I mean, red. It's the system, ladies and gentlemen, that I built. There's a reason it works. A lot of trades went into developing this. I can tell you that. But that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, share, subscribe. Check out the other ones in the shorts. You'll see where we've been pretty accurate of late. We love y'all. We hope you have a blessed Wednesday night or Tuesday night, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.